Okay, take two. Reflections of softness, boxed in a bash. Circles now broken, bound to make hash. Smoke it, drink it, walk it in a shoe. Tiptoe it softly, it's the least you can do. Save but don't spare it, recline till it folds. All this audacity breaks all the molds. Can you compare it to anything sound? Reverse declare it. Hell-bent, unbound. You know you can relish it. Straight till you drop. Finesse it and quiver from bottom to top. You slip down in passion, encumber it all. Amaze me and faze me, your hunger won't fall. Do my words arouse you, confuse you, conspire you to desire, define you, incline you? What do they inspire? Bookmaker, bookmaker, find me a song. Find me a few lines that I can prolong. Bring them in bunches, coddle it close. Slither me slowly till I overdose. Yes, bookmaker, bookmaker, find me a song. Find me a few shots that I can prolong. Bring them in bunches, coddle it close. Slither me slowly till I overdose. Bring them in bunches, coddle it close. Slither me slowly till I overdose. Bring them in bunches, coddle it close. Slither me slowly till I overdose. Slither me slowly till I overdose. Slither me slowly till I overdose. Thank you. Stop. No repeats. Okay, so let's see. Let's get on to the rest of our open mic here. And next up is Lee Darling. Whoops.
Okay, now we need to figure out if this is right. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
is that all right for you? Okay.
I
All right,
could be
well-
taller, but that's okay. I'm just short. It's okay. Yeah, I gotta be able to read my stuff here. Okay. Okay, this first one, I wrote this initially as a regular poem, or a narrative poem, and then I've learned recently of a different form, which is called a haibun, and so I'm playing around with that. I'm enjoying that. And this is titled 42. I watch in black and white as he changes the color of the game. I see him rise and fall, rise again in silent dignity, retain integrity, regain words. I fall for him again and for the first time, learn his story, history not assigned in school. I learn why the team from Brooklyn left him behind when they came west to play near me. Spring rain, infield littered with white gulls. Okay, that's it. I'm going to be really short. I write real short stuff. And this one is called Puzzling. One more puzzling addiction. Addiction to words. Words crossed or seven little pithy quotes in jumbled letters. Letters jumbled and coded numbers. Numbers matrixed 9 by 9. 9 times 9, 9 to 1. One solution each solution an illusion of control, one more time.
Okay, next up we have Julian. Is it Julian Walker? Yeah, come on up, Julian. Wow, I had trouble reading your writing today.
All right, I'm here to expand your horizons.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is not a poetry reading exclusively, all right? This is a literary event. This is an open mic. And I present, in my book, famous quotations and revelations, 5 different types of entertainments for educated people. And it's not just poetry. Here is what else there is. Quotes, jokes, stories, songs, and poems. So, because of this, I'm going to give 3 different things here. We're going to start with a quote from one of the most disturbing books of the 20th century. This may be a shocker. You might want to sit down for this. The Secret Extraterrestrial Connection. According to Captain Bill Uhouse, we have had working anti-gravity discs since 1962. Uhouse, a recently deceased, was an ex-Marine pilot and an aeronautical engineer who worked on constructing the disc simulator at Area 51 for 35 years. Our discs were back engineered from a craft given to us in 1953 as a gift by the Ebens from the planet Serpo in the star system Zeta Reticuli. The simulator, using 2 million volt capacitors, the largest ever built, was completed in 1958, when we began training pilots to fly the new American flying saucers. Our friendship with the Evans began in 1947 when we accommodated the lone alien who survived the Roswell crash at Los Alamos Laboratories, where he lived for 5 years until his death in 1952. Using this new technology, we established small outpost colonies on the Moon and Mars, jointly with the Russians. In 1962, thus launching the true space era totally in secret, this secret space command makes routine trips to our expanded colonies on the Moon and on Mars.
All right.
Yeah.
This is from the book Secret Journey to the Planet Serpo by Len Kasten. So you might want to read that. And here is a joke. We are in astronomy class here, and the professor says this. There are 2 philosophies on how this cosmos came into being. The creationists say that it was all created by a super-intelligent being, and everything is in perfect order. The evolutionists say that everything started in chaos and things are evolving by random chance. Anything that is successful is just an accident. Everyone in the class began to mumble and murmur. Finally, one student raised his hand. Professor, which one do you believe? And in this, the professor answered, I believe in God and in a perfect order by 95%. What, says the student? You mean truth is a matter of percentages? Oh, yes, says the professor. Well then, says the student, how do you account for this 5%? The professor raised his finger high and proclaimed, shit happens. And I will end out this one with a short poem. We're taking a woman's point of view right now. A woman's testimony to her sanctuary. Sometimes a woman needs sanctuary. Sometimes a woman needs solitude. The thought of a hidden bedroom is comforting, hidden enough so that no ruffian will find it. If I grant you the rare privilege of entering my bedchamber, you will face a wall. Yes, a wall of velvet. And oh, how they tease you when the breeze is waving and fluttering. those velvet curtains to my sanctuary. Are you feeling saucy, says the tart in me. The tassels on both sides of my bed are called souffle. Oh, she says, you may have tomato souffle or you may have black bean souffle. For sometimes they seem red and sometimes they look black. Being bathed, as it were, in an ocean of amber light. Welcome to my surreal dream of paradise. Sacre bleu! The pillows are warm as I sink in my silken slip, gradually descending and by degrees relaxing on an ocean of soft and warm blankets. Blankets and pillows. Pillows can be holders. And what are they holding? Ah, it's one fine doggy. A famous feline. A feline of the heart. Now, if a charming man is lucky enough to be here with me, he will, most assuredly, add these grapefruit memories to his cherished memories.
Never a dull moment when Julian's up here. Okay, Jeremy, you're up.
So, the sexy slam was last night. Looks like it was carried over to Barnes & Noble a little bit. So, my poems are never about sex, but that could be a lie. Some people think everything's about sex, but we're just doing metaphors in relation to that. Including science, maybe, I don't know. I'm just rattling. But, yeah, I can't get away with it.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah. But I will say, I think we're all on a quest, and we do it our own way, and that's what feels good. So I'm blessed to be able to do this sometimes with you guys, and I just want to say that. It feels good to get up here and express once in a while. So I tried this last night at the Sex Slam, because we just kind of stopped by for fun, and I was nervous. Like, really nervous. I don't know why. Once I got up there, I started shaking.
It's that stage.
Is it that stage?
I get nervous.
I was like, what the hell? Yeah? All right. Okay. Yeah, so maybe that's a no-go anymore, that one. I don't feel nervous now, so we're going to try this again, see if I can pull it off. It's called Axis. My axis of all directions, without question, intimately near, feeling this change between you and I, aware that we are always here. Have I outgrown myself, unable to hide in my skin, reconciled that my being is completely open? What I feel and think, you also think and feel. We just had to be different so we could become really real, honest enough to look and see, yes is you, yes is me, and yes is this constant being in between. Where can I go? Where my access is not. Where to escape into my thoughts, those moments I felt alone or lost. Well, I just forgot I have always been whole and will always be so. Remembering this experience no matter where we go. Here we are, bridge between any distance my mind perceives. Feeling says so, this being whole, eyes seeing, meeting, who knows self and mind, language and signs have a tendency to confine experience into limitations of insecurity and doubt. Until now, understands how now is becoming now, fully impossible for us to be left out. Holy home, my beginning and end, into our eyes again and again until my axis, without question, is exactly what this is. A perfect mistake, as has always been. I just wasn't paying attention. And this one is called Ride. Ride. And by the way, this kind of reminds me of the eclipse coming up. Eclipse coming up on August 21st. Full eclipse, right? I guess we're right in the spot. Salem, yeah. So, ride. Loosened heart, joy increasing, learning to remain, riding without fear of falling in my wave. by balanced confidence, avoiding vanity, fulfilling will's desire to participate with assurance and decision, by pure intention, continuing to learn how to ride this perfect wave. If now is what exists, then what is wrong with this? If my axis is not closing, am I not perfectly free from the strain of thinking by extremes, particle and wave perfecting history? What is static when my focus is between form and formless of my shared feeling, dreaming does in fact exist? A slight crack in a water vase is emptied by sunrise. If vase is then repaired, is not the vase divine? Yet what is form without transparency of eye that clearly sees the formless into this life, as my bird who sings my ground into my sky, and so sounds my median between death and life. If I must die, I must live. If I must live, I must give into one and two of in between, becoming truly true, wave to sky, crashing. Why don't I just get up again? Learn to ride, feeling by constant discernment, not to eclipse my open sense that this is truly perfect. Joy increased by loosened heart, learning to remain, riding without fear of falling in my wave. Thanks for listening, guys. Right on.
All right.
Very nice. Okay, who do we have next? Andrew, you're up, buddy.
I've got a special treat for everybody today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Bible thump you with some Bible poetry.
If we've gone to
I'm just going to have to ask that you not judge the book by its cover. But you should never hear about aliens and sex in the same poetry reading without hearing a little bit of scripture to put you in your place. So I'm going to be reading from the book of Ecclesiastes, and the trick is going to be to resurrect the voice of this old crusty preacher. And if you've never heard this book before, I hope you go home and read it, because it really is the best book in the whole wide Bible. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king of Jerusalem. By the way, vanity here means futility. It's Old English, so it's not like looking in the mirror for too long. It's pointlessness. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity.
Yeah.
What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are come with those that shall come hereafter. I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. And I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is waning cannot be numbered. I communed with mine own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me. In Jerusalem, yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness. And it says that in there, man. And folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirits. For in much wisdom is much grief. And he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. I have no idea how long it took me to read one chapter, so, I could read chapter 2.
540.
540, is that time? That's time. Chapter 1 of Ecclesiastes. Go home and finish it. Go home and finish it.
Nice projection. Methinks that Andrew does not need the microphone. Erica, you're up next.
Not quite sure how to follow that.
We're going to bring it down a little.
Thanks. That's great. Thank you. Perfect. So I have one short poem for you today. It's titled Dad. I still recall the feeling of your chest beneath my weary head. I rested upon your body, clung to you in a way I was never invited. My tears soaked your shirt. It was the first embrace and the last, all at once. Your body was still warm, but you were gone. I told you I loved you, how I longed for more. I forgave your absence. You were doing your best. Dad and daughter, together. The end and a beginning.
Yeah.
Very nice, Erica. Thank you. Karen, you're next.
Come on, Karen.
For those of you who don't know me, I usually do improvisational work. Although I've written countless pieces in my life and painted and stuff. So if you give me a second, that was a lovely poem, Erica. I never knew a dad, but the thing Andrew kind of reminded me of was that Abba. You could call Abba what is a name that means father or papa. So anyway, but what I want to do, release me, oh restless warrior. The dreams have come and followed suit. Everything from my head to my feet is filled with light. There is no distance between us. There is no sorrow or despair, only echoes of love. And even in each echo there resides a voice, timeless, ageless, unconfined to any circumstance or any wanderings. I look for things that seemingly aren't there. I borrow pieces like a hermit crab carrying away all her dreams and hopes to find another home. And as I walk the distance between yesterday and now, never knowing if I will reach tomorrow, yet is it not today? Is not every day today? If we look inside a silver box, a Pandora, perhaps, and all the ghosts and goblins and supernatural things that we can't understand come racing towards us and scaring us and scarring us. But yet, the soft spirit of a psyche comes and comforts us. In measures that I cannot understand, life exceeds its boundaries. There is no other thing, no other light but love. The others are illusions. They don't seem to be real. They don't seem to have the depth of creativity, of creation. And even though I wonder in kind of a mindless fashion, yet mindful at the same time, what this world could be, what it is and always has been. A perfect orb in a perfect sky, radiant stars dancing in our eyes, starfish of the oceans of time, all the great bounty and beauty that I could never deny. So here I am, solid ground, heads in the clouds, all three of them, I suppose, because I see myself more or less like an octopus in a crazy body, you know. I mean, what can you say? I hope someday to see with my heart as open as it could be. Today is that day. I encage it like Krishna and Vishnu, Christ and Muhammad. We're all prophets and we're all pages of history. And in each dream that exudes from me, I wish to give you a kiss. Thank you.
Okay, Karen, thank you. Next up is Emily Hill.
Emily.
Emily.
Wonderful. Thank you for the warm welcome. I live southeast of Jefferson in Marion County, so this is my first time.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have written novels, science fiction novels, to fulfill my desire for outer space, and I also have to take my classes off to read. So we all have something in common.
Kindred spirit.
Yes. So I'm going to write a couple of poems from my book. And this one's called A Spider in My Shoe. As I left my house, I noticed his shoes outside the back door. In the summer, a large 8-legged lady lives right next to the door and the boards above the foundation. She always greets me as I pass her quickly. And even though now it's February, my first thought when I saw the shoes was, I wouldn't put my shoes there. I wouldn't want a spider in my shoe. Funny the things that come to mind. They weren't my shoes, and doubtless he wouldn't even care about a spider in his shoe. So why even think about it? Thoughts sometimes appear like spider silk floating on summer air, suddenly there to amaze and annoy you as they snare your face and arms, caressing and entangling you, non-extractable. Sometimes thoughts come from the storehouse of the past. Many years ago, my driver education instructor said, keep your eye on where you want to go. And that summer after my 16th birthday, there were many times when driving the large yellow Ford, that phrase served me well to look beyond a tight space. Now I recognize that wisdom is good for more than driving. I know that when whims come upon me like a spider in my shoe, they can be shaken out, banished from my mind. A goal or a path, a pinpoint of light as tiny as a faraway star, a place to go beyond where I am, a way I want to be, an important something to become, are the thoughts most precious. Not the spiders, not the fears, but the soul thoughts that I place before me as I travel to become. And an older one, so now I'm going to read one that's a little newer, like less than a year old. It's called When I Was Young. When I was very young, my grandmother taught me to recognize the songs of various birds. Hear that one, she would say, it's the robin's rain song, or that is the song it sings to the evening. Now as I watch the birds that gather to feed on seeds put out for them, I marvel at their beauty and diversity. I hear doves, owls, hawks, red-winged blackbirds, chickadees. I've seen the pileated woodpecker with its elongated red crest. Great blue herons fly over from the pond. Swallows twitter with delight as they perform intricate aerobatics. The clicking of hummingbirds emphasize steep vertical rises and daredevil dives. To watch birds fly and hear them sing is to be richer, more connected to the world, to life, and all creation. We are new here, we humans, and we are raucous neighbors, acquisitive and overbearing. But oh, imagine the time before our ascendancy, to have seen the endless forests where birds sang unfettered, or wolves waited and wild cattle foraged. To have seen the vast sweep of the prairie as the sun set over expansive hills covered in tall grasses and wild flowers, graced by the fluttering of butterflies, home to birds, bison, and antelope. Now, having abandoned kinship with the faithful grasslands, the guardian mountains and the vigilant seas, never will we feel the zephyr, the pristine west wind as it whispers, come to the edge of the world with me, new and unspoiled. Spread your soul's wings and fly free. In late afternoon, I hear the robin's rain song calling for gentle showers to dimple ponds and fill rock crevices with soft, sweet water. Later, as the day melts into twilight, after the birds have sung their night song, they go to roost and tuck their heads beneath their wings.
Thank you so much, Emily. Okay, so our final open mic poet is my co-host, Charles. Come on up, Charles.
Come on, Charles!
Again, a lovely, lovely Sunday. You guys always bring it. So I've got two. I've got a new one I'll start with. Veils of skin. On these nights we shed our veils of skin. We slip by grace and gratitude the hunger of the day. In the brief embrace of desire's ballet, we reveal ourselves and dance beyond its darkness. Naked on this primal stage, under colored light, these bodies shine. I cup your head in heaven's hands. Into my eyes, you assert the sacred words never spoken. They emanate by means unseen, mending heart and body in the broken world, where I am healed and made complete again and again and again. So, Stephen will close us down, but since this is our last Burning Down the Barns until fall, I'd like to send you all home with this poem. For those of you that are writers and poets, and for those of you who might become writers and poets. Minutes, hours, and days. Let's lay our words out one by one like minutes, hours, and days, and pass our time in simple rhyme like children here at play. Let's raise our swords to vanquish foes and cast our demons down, and bring our angels back to life, and then go paint the town. With dark phrases and bright ideas, let's run and tell our stories. Post metaphors on every door with glowing allegories. And when our lives are over and our poems are flower beds, may their fragrance ever linger and continue to be read. Let's lay our words out one by one like weeks and months and years. And while the whole world worries by, let's write away our fears. Let's raise our pens to all our friends who with us here still play, to write our words out one by one, like minutes, hours, and days. We'll worry not if we're forgot in decades soon to come, for all these words we'll ever share, our souls remember some. And they'll be free for all to see, so this to you I say, write your words out one by one, like minutes, hours, and days. Yeah. See you in October, I hope.
A fitting closing there, Charles. Thank you so much. Wow, thanks everyone. Again, I hope you enjoyed our event today. We'll be taking the summer off, but we will return in October with this wonderful literary event on the second Sunday of each month. We look forward to seeing you then, and we're going to have a big send-off in October, I believe. Not sure what it is yet, but we're working on it. And again, I'd like to remind you to please support the work of our featured authors by buying their books and also supporting them online. All the information you need is on the official Eugene Poetry Foundation flyer right over there on the table, so please take one. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
See you next time.
Thursdays, I think.